Hello and welcome. My name is Shannon. My pronouns are they, them. We're going to be focusing on releasing the neck, shoulders, and letting go. Our prompts, we'll be using blocks, blankets if you have handy, and I have a bolster. If you don't have a bolster, bed pillows work really well. We're going to start with a seated grounding, if that's comfortable for us. We'll find a comfortable seated position. I'm on my bolster in Baddha Konasana or butterfly, feet together, knees apart. Gives me lots of space for my belly. In fact, I'm going to pull my belly between the legs so I have even more space. But you can be seated however is comfortable for you. I'm going to notice the grounding of the sit bones down through whatever object we might be resting against, through the mat, through the floor, all the way down to the earth beneath us. And we might notice that connection down. We might start by taking a few deep breaths, maybe in through the nose, out through the mouth, if that's helpful for us. Maybe releasing with a sigh or vocalization, doing our best to let the day go. Let go of anything we don't need in this moment. We might take a moment to notice how the body's feeling. So if we're holding tension anywhere on the body, maybe on our exhale, releasing, relaxing. Maybe noticing if we're clenching the jaw. If so, maybe finding a little bit of space between the biting surfaces of the mouth. Maybe letting the shoulders be heavy, falling away from the ears. Letting the arms be heavy, the hips, the thighs, the legs. Really letting ourselves rest. Feel free to return to our natural breath, whatever that feels like for us. And we might notice each inhale and exhale. Noticing where we feel the breath in the body. Without judgment, without attachment. Witnessing what we're feeling in this moment. We might feel the breath through the heart space or the belly. We also might feel it through the shoulders or the ribs. Noticing how we might feel expansion on the inhale and contraction or release on the exhale. We might let the awareness drift into the rest of the body. We might notice if there's anywhere particularly tender or sore today. We'll make note of those spaces so that we can be as kind to ourselves as possible. We might slowly start to bring a bit of movement back into the body, maybe into the fingers, the toes, the head and neck. Taking any movements here that feel good. And whenever we're ready, we can gently blink the eyes open if we've had them closed. We're going to start with a shoulder release. So we can stay in the position we're in, or if we like, we can stretch out into a different position, whatever feels good. Feel free to change it up as we go through our stretching. One thing to note, if you're like me and seated on a bolster or pillow and you are hypermobile, you might want to grab one or both of your blankets and put them beneath your knees if they're outstretched, so that they don't kind of dip down. So we're going to start by noticing how our shoulders feel in this moment, whether they feel tight, loose, whatever it is. And we might notice kind of where they're sitting in space. And then when we're ready, we're going to start with our left shoulder. And very slowly, over about 5 or 6 seconds, we're going to start to pull the shoulder up towards the ear. So really taking our time and being aware of sensation. And once we have the shoulder up as high as it'll go, we're going to hold here for about 10 seconds. Noticing what muscles feel engaged, where we feel tension. And then when we're ready, just as slowly as we came up, we're very slowly going to release the shoulder down. Down, all the way down. And we'll take a moment and notice if we feel a difference between the two sides. And then when we're ready, we'll come into this on the right shoulder. So slowly lifting up, taking our time, noticing what we're feeling, and holding at the top for 10. And then when we're ready, just as slowly releasing. Making sure we release all the way down. Beautiful. So again, taking a moment to notice if we feel any difference. We may or may not. We're just noticing what's going on. Another shoulder raising movement. So I'm going to bring my left hand forward and I'm going to bring my right hand onto the left forearm. And I'm going to take a moment here. Let the elbow be nice and soft. And then very slowly, I'm going to start to raise the elbow up as high as it'll go. And once we're up here, we're going to hold for a moment and we're going to notice kind of the movement around the shoulder, how it tends to kind of pull the shoulder forward a bit. And then we'll slowly release back down. And we're going to do this about 2 more times. So coming up and down. Beautiful. So we might notice just kind of where we're feeling, what we're feeling. Beautiful. And then we'll let the arms go down, take a moment, and we'll do it on the opposite side. So bringing the right hand forward, left hand on top, letting the elbow be soft. And we're using our hand really just to support so that we're stabilizing the arm. And then we're going to start to lift the elbow. And we might notice that on one side it feels tighter or harder than the other, and then we'll come back down. And that's normal. We tend to be asymmetric. We'll come back up again and down. And so as we come up again, we might notice that small kind of hunch in the shoulder as we bring the shoulder up and release down. We can let go of the arms. Beautiful. We're going to start by bringing the hands together, interlacing the fingers. And we're going to push the arms forward in front of us. And then we're going to bring the chin back. So if the head's forward, we're going to pull it back. And then bring the chin down as we push the arms forward. Stretching the rhombus and those muscles through the back. And we're going to hold here for about 6 breaths. So we've taken about 2 already. 4, 5, and 6. And then when we're ready, we can unroll through the neck and release the arms down. Feel free to take any movement you need in between the stretches, because sometimes we're like, oh, that released something. Or depending on where we're holding tension, certain stretches won't really feel like there's much going on, and that's okay too. But they're helpful to kind of have in your pocket, because depending on the day, we're going to have different sensation, right? Depending on what we've done and all of that. We're going to start by bringing the left hand down to the side. And we have a few options here. We can either let it hang down, or we can kind of tuck the hand underneath the thigh or bum so that it's staying down. And we'll let the right hand just kind of rest gently. I like to leave it on my thigh. And I'm going to bring the right ear over the right shoulder, letting the head be heavy. We'll take a few deep breaths here. Maybe releasing on the exhale. With a sigh, letting go as much as we can. And then when we're ready, we might gently raise the right hand and assist the head back up to center. Release the left arm. And then we'll do the same thing on the opposite side. So I'm going to let my right hand hang, option to kind of tuck it under the leg or bum. And then I'm going to bring left ear over the left shoulder, letting the arm be heavy, letting the head be heavy, and continuing to breathe. So again, we can stay here for about 6 breaths. And when we're ready, we might gently raise the left hand and assist the head back through center. This next stretch is going to help us release through the muscle that kind of connects the neck to the shoulder, the scalene. So we're going to start by bringing the right hand to the left collarbone. And we're doing this to stabilize the collarbone. So we're just kind of holding in place. And then we're going to turn our chin towards the left side. So towards our right hand on our left collarbone. And then we're going to see if we can lift the left ear towards the ceiling. So tilting the head slightly. And we'll feel a bit of a stretch usually. And if you pull the head back a little or forward a little, we can kind of change where the sensation hits. So if there's anywhere that's really tight, once you hit that spot, that's where you'll want to hold. And so again, about 6 breaths, which is about 30 to 40 seconds. And then when we're ready, we can gently release, lifting the head up straight. We can let go of the shoulder. Again, take any movement we need. And then we'll do the opposite side. So I'm going to bring my left hand to the right collarbone. Again, just kind of holding here. And then we're going to turn the chin towards the collarbone that we're holding in place. And then we'll gently lift the ear towards the ceiling. Again, take those little micro movements and see if there's anywhere in particular that you really need to be holding. And once you've locked in, we'll be here again for about 6 breaths. Okay, when we're ready, we'll gently assist up. Release. I'm going to bring my hands behind the head, interlacing the fingers if that's comfortable. If not, we can support the head. We're going to come through a bit of a paddle here. So we bring the elbows out. I'm going to reach my left elbow up and forward, right elbow up and forward. And we're going to do about 6 of these, taking our time. Beautiful. And then we're ready, we're reversed. So lifting the right elbow up and back, left elbow up and back. And for me, going backwards takes much more effort 2 more left. There we go. And then when we're ready, we'll release. Take a moment here. I'm going to bring my legs back to center. And I'm going to grab one of my blocks. And we might use this, we might not use this, but I like to have it handy. I'm going to place it right between the feet. And there we go. And I'm going to, again, notice the grounding through the sit bone. And we're going to start by coming into a twist. So I'm going to bring my right hand behind the bum, left arm across the body, either to the opposite side or maybe to our block, and then opening the shoulders up towards the right side. Taking a few deep breaths here. So leaving the front hand where it is, I'm going to release my right hand or the back hand and then slowly come back to center. And then I'll take the right hand, lift it up and over, taking a nice long stretch. So only going as far as we're comfortable with. Again, we'll be here for anywhere from 4 to 6 breaths. And then we're ready, we can come back up and release the front hand as well. Beautiful. From here, we'll do the same thing on the opposite side. So I'm going to bring my left hand behind the bum, right hand either across the body or onto my block, opening the shoulders up towards the left side. Taking about 6 deep breaths here. And when we're ready, we can, leaving the front hand forward, release the back hand, gently float forward. We'll bring the left arm up and over towards the right. Beautiful. Beautiful. When we're ready, we'll bring the arm up and back. Beautiful. We can release both arms. We might take a moment to thank ourselves for our practice today, for making space for movement and rest. And I'd like to thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today.